Mr. Raymond, could you unmute us, please?
Come on. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adjustments to the agenda, Dr. Lee?
A report from Rhonda Casey, will be at Mia Charette tonight, please.
Is that the only adjustment?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Public comment? Public comment is for 3 minutes. And all I ask is just be nice to one another. I'm going to start tonight because I want to welcome a new person sitting around the table at the board. Haley Aldrich. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
And we practiced that because before she was actually, and she hadn't taken her name. I want to welcome you as the board chair. Welcome to the school board. And you participate and have your say just like any of us. The only thing you don't get to do is vote. Okay? Thank you and welcome. Is there any other public comment tonight? Seeing none. A motion for the approval of the minutes, Kevin G.
Move to approve the minutes of school board meeting October 10th, 2023, barring any errors or omissions.
Second, Kevin Allen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 5-0. Have to find where I am. Payroll warrant, can I have a motion for that, please? Tom?
Yeah. There was a motion to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein, the sum against each name contained in school payable warrant PR 24-9, in the amount of $137,916.25. And PR 24-9D in the amount of $72,079.32 on October 26, 2023. And PR 24-10 in the amount of $144,539.61. PR 24-10B in the amount of $74,415.78. The main PERS 24-3 in the amount of $41,848.67. Main PERS 24-4 in the amount of $10,057.61. Main PERS 24-5 in the amount of $32,275.42. Main PERS 24-6 in the amount of $7,930.27. And main PERS 24-7 in the amount of $1,189.28 on November 9th, 2023.
That should be 3,000.
Yeah.
189.
$3,189.20.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all in favor? 5-0. Motion for the payroll warrant?
I'd
Kevin?
like to make a motion to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein, the sum set against each name contained in the school payable warrant AP 24-12 in the amount of $33,162.13. AP 24-13 in the amount of $119,001.39. And SA 24-6 student accounts in the amount of $1,694.25 on October 26, 2023, and AP 24-14 in the amount of $73,819.34. SA 24-7 student accounts in the amount of $9,289.39. And SA 24-8 student accounts in the amount of $5,031.06 on November 9th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. That's the first one I heard. Gotta give you my report too. First reading of policy revisions. Ron?
I motion to approve the first reading of the following revised policies, JKAA, use of physical restraint and seclusion, JKAA-R, procedures on physical restraint and seclusion.
Second, yeah.
Okay. Discussion?
What are we using for restraint? Where safety care?
Yep, I was gonna say, we did ask Jolene if she would be here this evening and, talk just a moment about this.
So the state of Maine,
I'm gonna ask you to stand up here, so Zoom can see you, please.
so the state of Maine redid the policy on restraints and seclusions. It used to be after every restraint or every seclusion, we had to have a meeting within 48 hours to go over that. What was happening, especially in special purpose private schools or schools where we had students that had severe behaviors, is they were meeting all the time on students. So they changed the law for it to happen after 3 restraints. You have to meet within 10 days. And then it's, if the child has 1 or 100 restraints between then and the 30th day, you don't have to meet again. This is just to reflect the Maine state policy that has come out so that aligns with what our policy used to be to what it should be currently.
Do we have anybody on staff to train safety care? Just you?
Doing it right now. We also have Ms. Potvin at the
Sure.
elementary.
Thank you.
We're using the trainer model.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody else? What I see reading that policy over was, a lot of it is, your own judgment. Whether that person has to be restrained, you feel that person's gonna hurt somebody, hurt themselves.
It comes down to imminent danger.
De-escalation strategies and environmental concerns and yes.
Anybody else? All in favor? 5-0. Motion on the Gloria McKenzie Foundation Award.
I motion to accept the Gloria C. McKenzie Foundation Award of $18,000.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Go ahead.
I'm glad that, we finally got one. We're in the I think we put in every year, first time, I think, so.
We had asked Taylor Zoolander, who put in
Yeah.
for the award, if she would join us tonight and talk about it for a minute, if you.
You gotta stand over details, so everybody can see you. Yeah.
So I'm super thrilled that we were awarded this. When I became the computer teacher, it was a bunch of old desktops that were probably there when these two young ladies were at Granite Street. Developmentally, that's not appropriate for little hands learning how to type. And desktops are not really used very much anymore. So I put in a $18,000 request from the Gloria C. McKenzie Foundation as well as the Stephen King Foundation. Stephen King came back and said, sorry, we ran out of money, try again next year. And then on a random Tuesday afternoon, somebody's son brought me an envelope that said that we were awarded it. So now we've got $18,000 to buy MacBook Airs for the computer lab. The goal is to teach the kids how to use iOS before they get to the middle school level to take some of that stress off of the upper grade teachers. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no worries.
Goes for iMac Airs.
Yes, it is for MacBook Airs. They retail at about $1,000 a piece. Through Apple Education, there is a slight discount, especially since we are a tax exempt facility, or I guess that's the wrong word, but yeah.
Thanks for
So-
taking the initiative to write that.
That's fine.
Good job.
I wanted to say that, yeah.
Yeah,
It's nice that you do that. It's appreciated very much.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely floored. I mean, anyone who saw me that day at Granite, I'm rarely speechless.
You want?
But I was. I was just, but yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go back to work. Okay.
Yes, thank you for joining us
No
tonight.
worries. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 5-0. Oh, I thought I got somebody off. Veterans Day celebration overview. Here's given. Would you like my chair as you do this? I'll give you my chair.
Oh, no. I'm gonna stand up.
What would you say? Sure, take mine.
I gave each of you board members and the superintendent a copy of the program. It will be run off in color tomorrow. It again, this year, I think, presents itself as a fairly local, regionalized program. With all that is going on in our world, and then you bring it back to our country, and then you bring it back to our state. Everybody that is serving as a legislator or a member of Congress or any kind of governmental role is all tied up. And even their staff. So I reached out to our congressional delegation, I reached out to the governor, I reached out to legislators, I reached out to local, and with the upcoming election, which is today, and then with all of the unrest in the state and everywhere else, it was a polite, boy, I don't think we can fit it into the schedule. So the program, again, this year, I think has a local, regionalized kind of look. I'm wicked excited that the band has finally come together enough so that they are going to This high school band is going to play the Star Spangled Banner, and then they're going to join with the junior high band and play a selection. And they were not prepared, probably well enough in their instruments, the junior high band and the high school band, to participate last year, if you recall. So I was really excited when Mr. McEwen said, the band is ready, but I started nudging the music folks in September, early September. I gave them a chance to get started a few days of school, and then, okay, I'm back. I need some things. We are gonna recognize our veterans, and a couple of years ago, I think it was, there was a gentleman with us, from East Millinocket in full dress uniform, and he very kindly said that one of the branches, there's a branch of the military known as the Space Force. So I want to be very cautious tomorrow. I have some notes that we include all the branches of the military. And the only omission was due to, I didn't know. So I do want to make that. Dr. Lane and Ms. Peavy are going to bring some remarks and greetings from administration. The Boreal Children's Theater is comprised of, I believe, 7 girls from Granite Street School, and Mrs. Angotti and Mr. Scally have been working with that group, and they're going to sing, I think it's very appropriate, and I've heard them, Welcome Home. I think it's a very appropriate title and words for the song. I will tell you here, though, that Mr. Scally is going to do double duty tomorrow. Mrs. Angotti has broken her foot, so she is homebound and very upset that she can't join us on Thursday. Warren is going to bring some comments here from the school board. And when I reached out to the town council, I first of all asked Mr. Jameson, what's the protocol for connecting with members of the council? And I wanted to send just one email so that we could all respond to one another. And he told me that it was more than okay because it didn't have anything to do with council business. So I extended the invitation, and it wasn't too long after that Bob Higgins said, well, I would like to represent the council. And he also shared with me that he is a combat veteran. He rank of sergeant and in the United States Army. So he's going to represent the town council, but he's also going to make some comments, some remarks about his just role as a veteran. Wreaths Across America, I have a short video from them, and it's really the video that shows how the wreath is made and the significance of all of the bunches of evergreens that comprise the wreath. It's about 3 minutes long. Now, this is probably just a personal sort of out there venture with me. And when I contacted Charlene Karen, who is a US Navy veteran, I didn't know that she had been accepted for the most recent honor flight. I was reaching out to her because she's a woman. And typically when we have these veterans ceremonies, most of the people who attend are men. And I wanted to see if she would talk about being a veteran, but also a female veteran. Well, she initially said, oh, I can't do that. I don't like to speak in front of people. Well, I nudged and nudged and nudged. But when she came back from the honor flight, she said that out of over 100 veterans on this most recent honor flight, it was just on the news last week, there were only 3 women out of all of the men. Everybody that was there was a man. So she's pretty excited to talk about her role, and she served as a court reporter in the 1950s. And of course, that was before women were allowed to go to combat in the military. It doesn't diminish their role. It just means that they were not allowed to be armed and fight. The combined chorus is going to sing a song, and then Paul House. It's interesting, they used to come to our celebration a number of years ago, and the last time they were here, they had a puppy because they asked if they could bring the puppy into the ceremony. The puppy's name was Turbo. And when I talked with Paul, who was out on he was out on a bear hunt with some veterans, they got a bear, they got several bears. He said, can I bring Turbo? And I said, of course. And I said, well, how old is Turbo now? And he said, 8 years. So it's been a while since we've had anybody from House in the Woods join us. And he's really looking forward to it. I think he's gonna come for the breakfast as well. The combined band is going to play another piece. And then the Summit Project has a new executive director, Greg Johnson. And when I reached out to him, they on Wednesday nights do some kind of call among all of them that are involved with the Summit Project, and he just put it out there. We've been invited. Anybody want to do this? Well, we all know Mike Peterson. He's our school photographer extraordinaire. And he also is the photographer for the Summit Project. And some of you may not recognize the name, but as soon as I tell you who Mrs. Stout is, you'll know. If you've been here, if you've lived in Millinocket for a while. It's Susan Marquis. She is Bernie Marquis's widow. Bernie was, and they raised their children here. They graduated from Stearns. Bernie died of brain cancer. And she remarried James Stout. And Bernie and Bernie and Susan's son Aaron was killed in the war. And she and Jim are Gold Star parents, very active in the Summit Project. And they asked if they could bring stones, because the Summit Project is about not only honoring a veteran who no longer lives on Earth, but they actually climb to the top of Mount Katahdin, whatever mountain is around. And they're bringing stones for Aaron Marquis, Mark Goyette, and Justin Buxbaum. So I'm really excited about that. There will be a number of children in attendance who have no idea what that stone is, because the last time the Summit Project was here, the person representing them was Jackie Carter, a PA working up in the hospital area, and she relocated to Blue Hill, and she came and represented the Summit Project and brought stones, and that was a long time ago. So there'll be a great deal of new learning for the kids during this particular program. Mr. McGibbon's government classes have created a video. It's very, very good. A number of us have seen it already. And we're going to end our program tomorrow with a 5.5-minute video, Hymn of the Fallen. John Williams wrote a musical score called Hymn to the Fallen. That particular musical score was put to a video, and it's very, very poignant. It's very significant. And if we think that freedom is free, it's not. Particularly, that's what this video drives home, because it takes us around the world to all of the resting places, all of the cemeteries where men and women serving in the military have died and been laid to rest. The music itself would bring tears to your eyes, but then when it was set to a video, it really does. It really brings it home. And I have a few closing remarks, but by that time, we'll be ready to just breathe and just sort of soak it all in. The students from Granite Street School and it's their call in terms of they're going to leave somewhere on the first page. And I think it will depend on their judgment and the restlessness perhaps of the children, but somewhere in this first page of the program, perhaps maybe before or after the chorus sings From Sea to Shining Sea, they're going to leave, and we're just going to pause while they leave. They're going to sit in the bleachers closest to the gym lobby, because their buses will be right out there to load them up. And I printed the names, I got them from the teachers here. I asked the Amanda and Tammy to look at the names to see if any was misspelled, because that's a real pet peeve of mine, a misspelled name, or a misspoken name. And as you can see, we have a wide range of students involved in this activity. The National Honor Society and the Student Council, they actually are going to cook and serve the breakfast. And the Junior High National Honor Society, they're going to set up and decorate tomorrow after school. So I think it's going to be a very good program, and I think that the veterans who come will feel as though they're special. They are, but it's another thing to make them feel that way. I will tell you that I got permission from the town manager to display the nuts and bolts of our veteran ceremony on the electronic board outside the municipal building. I wrote an article for the Lincoln News. It's on our message board. Mrs. Looms, National Honor Society students created some flyers and distributed those. I've contacted a number of veterans just personally, phone call, or I see them out and about, letting them know that we'd like to have them come. And I'm hoping that the weather will cooperate and that folks will feel as though they can get out. We delayed, the breakfast used to start at 7:30, to this year it's going to start at 8. And I think the program will conclude around 10:30 in the morning. So I hope that you'll find a way in your work schedule or retirement to come over and join us. I think it's a great opportunity for kids to see adults that they know just sometimes in one role actually branch out, well, and can just be something other than what the student sees them as. I think that's very important, but I forgot something. Katie Pangburn, who is in pre-K, sent an email message, and her students are making something, and she didn't tell you what it was, but they're making something, and they'll with all of the students for each veteran, and it'll be a gift for the veteran. So they're going to be delivered to the school here tomorrow afternoon for the ceremony on Thursday. So that's the best I can do. I hope that everything goes well and that the students find it to be educational and worthy of. I hope that the ceremony, the celebration, is worthy of everyone's time. That indeed it does send the message to men and women that not only do we appreciate them and thank them for their service, but that our actions that day show that. So that was my goal in putting the program together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Fantastic. Well,
It's like a lot of work.
as a veteran.
I did, but I did it for us because I think it's important.
Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Did anybody have any questions of Ms. Gibbon? New hires. 7, T, you wanna read that?
Yeah. Kevin Divison, varsity boys basketball coach, year 1 stipend, step 1, stipend of $3,600. Nicholas Cullen, varsity girls basketball coach, year 10, step 10/11, with a stipend of $4,800. Terrence Brown, JV basketball, boys basketball coach, year 2, step 2, with a stipend of $2,000. Emma Alley, JV girls basketball coach, year 3, step 3, with a stipend of $2,200. Patrick Mooney, junior high boys basketball coach, year 7, step 12, with a stipend of $2,600. Stephen Gersa, junior high girls basketball coach, year 1, step 3, with a stipend of $1,600. Kristen Harmon, varsity women cheering coach, year 1, step 1, with a stipend of $3,600. Nicole Campbell, junior high winter cheering coach, year 1, step 4, for the stipend of $1,800. Douglas Chronic, varsity basketball timer, year 15, step 12, for the stipend of $1,600. And Douglas Chronic, junior high basketball timer, year 34, step 12, for the stipend of $1,100.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions? That's all. Thanks. Fall conference. Who would like to jump right into the discussion on the fall conference? Kevin?
Yes. So, we had the conference on the 26th and 27th. I had the opportunity to go on the 25th. This chairman couldn't attend with family issues, so he asked me if I would go and sit in, and I did, and it was very informative, and I enjoyed it very much. It was discussions on what's sharing of different school board chairmen, and it was very interesting. On the 26th and 27th, on the 26th, we had a keynote speaker, Dr. Bill Daggett. And he was the founder of Successful Practices Network and the International Center of Leadership and Education. He talked a lot about AI, and it was just blew your mind when he talked about it and the things that are in the future for education. I also attended several workshops. I was very fortunate. Tom went to a couple of them with me, and he kind of would explain to me what's this, a lot of the stuff that I didn't understand. One was on budget and audit, and it was understanding the essential programs and services EPS. And they said it was a complex formula, and it certainly is. And I just kind of got a dusting of it. I also went to one on how your budget gets approved, municipal budgets. I also attended one on labor negotiations and one on leadership practices. And like I say, a lot of it is just a lot of information to pack into an hour. In each one of those sessions I went to lasted an hour. There was a lot of information to pack into it. But I really thought it helped me an awful lot as a school board member, and especially one without the experience of several of the members.
Kevin Gregory?
One thing we all talked about, is some of the schools invite their student representatives. And I think that's a good thing, as long as we can work it so that they're not missing a ton of school maintenance. So I think that'd be something good to do this coming year. And I was fortunate enough to sit in with Donnie, and I were both in, was two young people that had battled addiction. And they talked about, how they got addicted and then find themselves, but how to reach out to people. And they do workshops. We talked to Dr. Lane, and it's something we'd like to see come here. It's they deal with all the way from middle school right up through. They talked about some of the drug use and stuff that I never even heard of before, but just with them young kids, and they're really not that young now, 22 and 27 or something like that. But to get up in front of strange people and just open up like that, I think it was the most powerful. And I've gone to, I think, 16 or 17 conferences. That's the most, that really hit home in that. If they can just open up the kids' eyes to where they can reach out to for help. So those are the biggest ones that I took.
I attended that with Kevin as well, called Seed, I believe.
See, yeah.
And that was quite moving. I also went to digital ownership, which I thought was pretty neat. The other cyber ones that they were doing there got canceled because of a shooting. But they did have digital ownership, which I thought was really good, well done and everything. And it talked about how students and their parents allow them to use these devices wrongly. And it's up to us to make sure that they have ownership and know how to use these digital devices and how much influence they have. How many hours a day that kids spend on this is unbelievable. And the time just flies by. And they will also present as well. In the other school. Other that's beautiful.
Donnie, I also went to the AI one that put on by Mr. Daggett and, well, I've been putting off getting a will and everything, so Donnie downloads one of them, and he just puts in a thing in 6 seconds, he had a will that looked professional, I just had to put the names in and stuff. It's amazing, and they talked about writing IEPs, and it just saved a lot of time that you can.
That was
It's really, I was amazed at how fast it is.
Jump in just for a second. I went, after the conference, I went home and I signed up for that AI chat.
Yeah.
And, I put in, be a retired teacher. I said, oh, you say they can do lessons with me. We'll see. So I put in for a second grade math lesson from, and, wow, it was within seconds. I had a nice lesson plan. Now, you'd have to modify it for any classroom, but it was within a couple seconds. It just blew you right away.
Presentations, whatever you want to ask it, it will deliver just like that.
It's gonna be a tool, for sure.
And then they talked about the downside of it, where
Yeah.
kids can cheat with it,
They can.
but they also have some other engines out there that can check to see if they used AI to do it. So there's ways to fix that, but I think it's an amazing tool that students should be using.
I think it's a great tool. I'm glad you showed it to me down the region. With all of my tech savvy skills, I went home and I thought, boy, I'll fix that veteran speech. It'll be real nice. Story and I had talked about it down there, and I can't get it to. I can't get beyond the setup. So.
I had that problem though, then when I get on the computer at work. On the phone, it wouldn't work.
I think Mr. Daggett, everything you've said, I echo that. I think the presentations were pretty impressive. And Mr. Daggett, really, one of the things that hit home is that the work of teachers and administrators continues to grow with the expectations that public schools are requiring and need for us to do to support students. But teachers need nights and weekends back, and AI continues to grow and advance. And it is gonna have the capacity to give teachers and administrators nights and weekends back. If we can just figure out how to use it, to do that, to like you said, help out with lesson plans or to help out with, writing IEPs. And he said that more than once, use this as a tool, start with it giving nights and weekends back, to your staff. So I think that that's a great way for, Millinocket and others to start. Maybe even menus, Mia, give you back some time to and part of it is writing the right prompt. Like for you, it would be, low sodium, low sugar, red vegetable, like all of your criteria, and you pop it in, it prompt is part of what helps make that all work. But those are the things that we have to teach. So anyway, it was pretty impressive. It was a great workshop for that. Yeah. Very good.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a good conference. It's both the 20th one I've been to. I was a little disappointed, but you gotta understand with what had happened the night before. A lot of things, and anything got canceled, a lot of security stuff.
Yeah.
Anything to do with security or cyber, all that was gone. There was nobody available. I thought the mood at the conference was pretty down. A lot of people weren't there because they couldn't get there. But I went to a couple of the budget ones just to see what had changed with EPS formulas and that stuff, and nothing's changed. It's the same. The big schools with all the people get the money, the schools don't suffer. But we did have some good conversations because we're very few of us in the class, in the room, so we get to talk a lot in the state about fairness and how the things should be done. Another one I attended was on special education and how we need to uplift and support our ed techs. There's a lot of talk about that. In the group that I was in, again, was a small group, so we had to do a lot of talking, and they were talking about how we need to to support them and help them obtain, either become a teacher. So that was really good class. So, it was enjoyable time. We had a good time. We suffered and had a good time. Had a birthday party. Things went well.
Had a birthday party?
Well, yes. Yeah, it was Mom's birthday.
Mums.
Is that? And student.
Bob, that's what I'm going for. Bob.
Somebody,
Report.
somebody sang her happy birthday.
They were looking for a free piece of cake. It didn't.
And she is still 29.
Not hardly. It was a,
It's a good team building now.
it was a
Good
good
team
team
building.
building. It really was. Yeah, it was. We have to all learn to laugh at ourselves, and we did.
You have something you wanted to add?
I did. It really was, I agree with what everybody said. The team building was fun for sure. I think Tom was right too. I think particularly Friday, there were a number of the sessions that were canceled, particularly Friday. They seemed to drop off. And I do think it became a little bit more solemn on Friday. But that said, the events that were open, there were less people, so there was more conversations, I think. So it was worth going to. It probably would have felt a little bit different had the event not happened, but it did. So people made the best of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys. Welcome back, Lisa.
Yes, welcome.
We're ready for your report.
Okay, so the fall sports are done now, but the Pewaukee team, made the playoffs, lost first round. But our record was 7-6-1. It was a really fun year, but, really cold, I would say. I need a lot. A lot more. Also the boys varsity football team went to Northern Maine, but I think Cohen's in the top.
All kinds of things I got about.
Okay, well, they beat Bucksport 46-14 on Halloween. And then, lost last Saturday, like 58-42, I believe. It was a good game, like, I'm glad they made it there, third time in a row, so. The Veterans Day ceremony is coming up, and like last year, the National Honor Society is doing a breakfast before the ceremony for veterans, family, whoever. And there's a senior class that did the video this year. I would say 2 kids took like the real initiative on it. But we went to different classrooms, and basically the kindergarten to the 12th grade. I think you guys saw the video. I don't know if all you did, but
I didn't see.
you didn't. Okay, so
Top secret.
okay, so I don't know if you Oh, it is. Never mind. Anyway, Tuesday worked really hard on it. I'm awful looking at these, so I'm glad they
We look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's all.
Very good. And I heard the game was a throw-in. And it was the only team this year that scored more than 18 points against them. So, like, yeah,
Yeah, certainly.
so I heard it was a great game. It really could have gone either way.
Yeah, we had good chance and just
Kudos.
the Stearns boys had nothing to be
No, I
ashamed
know.
of. They played hard, they did a really good job.
Yeah, I do.
And I got it right.
So, the junior class just recently voted on the prom theme for the 2024 prom. They decided on Miami Nights, and this will be decorated in a fun beachy neon light decorated. The junior class has also been fundraising. We actually are fundraising right now by sending Little Caesar pizza kits that are wrapping up this Sunday. Our performing arts department is doing a show, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The shows are on the nights of November 16th, 17th, and 18th. And our mock trial team had the opportunity to witness a federal court case in Bangor to help benefit them towards their competition on Saturday, November 18th.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Come on down.
Ready up, Vicky. Okay. So, October was a good month for us, not a whole lot going on. We do, have a few new pieces of equipment thanks to the HMI grant. 3 new refrigeration units, so 2 refrigerators, 1 freezer. In the world, they're all refrigeration, but one of them does freeze, which is nice. So, one of them did come in ill repair, unfortunately, but it is under warranty, so we are in the process of getting that fixed. There have been some milk shortages in school food programs. We have not been affected. Our brands have changed over the last few weeks. You know, they cycle out what they have. Instead of the Oprah chocolate, we get the True Moon chocolate. We're getting the skim True Moon chocolate. Next week we'll get the 1% True Moon chocolate. But no shortages, like it hasn't affected what we're receiving yet. It's all due to a lack of cartons. So we are looking at alternatives, and the state is working with local food agencies to just kind of problem solve and get through any hiccups that should go through probably January. Our food service team served 5,176 breakfasts, which is an increase of 500 over October of last year. So that's a nice increase. And 6,704 lunches, which is an increase of 764, which is a really nice jump. So our reimbursement rates are lower this year for breakfast and lunch than they were last year, but we're still up $3,712 over last October. So things are looking well. We do need substitutes in the kitchen. You know, we're serving a few more meals. We really are needing our staff to be strong and healthy. Anybody that's retired can certainly find some time.
In our district admin meeting this morning, she was doing everything but crying, so if you know anybody who wants to help in the kitchen, we will take anybody.
Yeah, well, you know, within reason.
That was a qualifier.
Yeah, I get it.
Background check, fingerprints, you know, so there's
Oh,
some
okay.
criteria. yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we're definitely welcoming in people, and I know the school needs subs in general.
Yeah, we do.
So,
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions?
I have one. I just heard you say that they have to still be fingerprinted after a background check.
Yeah, those are
Who
two.
is paying for the fingerprinting?
The individual pays for the fingerprinting, new to our contract this year. After, working a certain amount of time, they can qualify for reimbursement for those fingerprinting fees.
Okay, that's,
After showing dedication to the program.
because I know in the past, the fingerprinting has been a big stickler for some people.
It is a barrier, for sure.
To have to pay and, because I mean, they're minimum wage.
Right. Yeah.
So,
We'll cover it after they've been here a little bit.
okay, and that's nice to know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and that's nice to know to get out there in Zoom world that,
Yep, absolutely.
you know, that after you work a while, you will be
Yep.
reimbursed.
Yep, show us, you'll show up and you like what you're doing and we'll cover it.
For sure.
Very good. Anybody got anything else? Okay,
I have
no,
one thing there.
yep, go ahead.
I did get approval for the person that's working down to work through the school year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on that right now. And if you have a spot for another one, I could probably get another one, but I just have to find the right person, that's all.
Okay, I'd love to have a conversation. For sure.
Yes.
How are the students doing with the change in the milk, the up and down of like 1% regular and all that?
As long as that milk is chocolate.
You don't go along.
A decrease in the chocolate milk deliveries, then we will have, they'll certainly notice that, but for now, they've not noticed.
Our students, you know, those students will be out there on.
And a lot of schools are moving to bulk milk to kind of get through this point, but it's a financial and time commitment. You know, so you're washing cups or buying cups and,
Pouring it.
you know, pouring it in cups, and you've got small children.
Spilling
in the
cups.
cafeteria
Yeah.
spilling cup,
Yeah.
so,
That's what we used to have to do, is buy gallons and pour it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we will get through it regardless. You know, unfortunately, it's a short window is what they're expecting, so.
Yeah.
January should be here by like next week is how it feels to move in my world, so. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Wanda.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up, you still on the side?
Yeah.
I have a quick update. We have some UT students, we're up 2 students this year compared to where we ended up last year. That revenue will be generated of over $181,000 for us, which is pretty good. Our fourth quarter financials, the just have been uploaded and approved by the Department of Education. So we're on the way to be reviewed, which is for our subsidy purposes. FY 24 year-to-date expenditure, we have spent 26%, 26.64% of our budget. Our revenues collected so far this year is $1,102,250. Compared to last year, we're pretty much on target. Last year, we had spent 32.97% at this time. And we collected last year's revenues $1,312,303. So we're roughly on target. I do have some more receivables coming in, so we'll have some more revenue this quarter. And we did receive a wire transfer for $81,825 for the international fund already. Oh, yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I do want to make a comment. Kevin and I went to one of the, was it EPF, I mean, the budget one. It was EPF. And they told about how much money there is, and I meant to bring that figure with me, but I mean, it was substantial, it was millions of dollars that still the state is holding. Schools have not done what they need to do to get that money. So I asked Dr. Lane how we were, and we're good. We talked to Rhonda, and with all the ups and downs and the bumps that we've had along the road here, you know, the new bookkeeper and getting things, we've got our money. So that's a huge thank you to Rhonda and the staff here for keeping it on track and keeping us going in the right direction. I mean, when they were telling us the schools that
We can blow your mind.
Bangor, I mean, there were some big schools that I get their money because they haven't turned in their paperwork and.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up and say thank you to Rhonda.
So much of it, just getting the reports in on
Yep.
time,
That's right.
and that's what we need to do, and you're doing it.
Thank you.
Okay. Cody Clinton doesn't have one part.
I'll make a comment on the next couple.
Oh.
If that's all right.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, well, no. So, Cody, as you know, has been out with medical and he had an appointment today. It's all right for me to say. So we should be getting some updated information from him. The next one is, Louis, and Louis was on vacation, but he is here. He's much refreshed and ready to tell you what he has accomplished. We're glad he's
He's
back.
gonna tell us about his vacation.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Where us?
Right.
I don't really have a whole lot exciting, nothing that compares to the Great Milton debacle, certainly, but the fall has been pretty much a time for us of well, the extended sports season kind of pushes everything back, you know, getting the fields winterized and aerated, and ready for winter, getting the buildings ready for winter. Changeover of equipment, getting things, plows put on and loaders, and buckets, and snow blowers installed, and that's pretty much the fall for us. I'm still waiting on a date for the elevator inspection. They said it was about a month and a half out. We're about a month so far. Fire alarm system as well. We're still waiting for parts to complete that. We need 5 or 6 more devices to change to finish that project. So as soon as supply arrives, then we can complete that project. It is all functional, it's just we need to
Yeah.
change out a few devices, and do the final testing on it. But other than that, not a whole lot other than business as usual, and I know Kevin will love to hear that we're getting our first fuel delivery at the end of this week. Which is pretty much on track with a typical fall like we've had this year where it's been colder, and usually the first week in November is when we get our first tanker load of fuel, unfortunately. But other than that, business as usual.
I think you shared with me last time, what did we lock in at?
It was 326 or something, or
A lot cheaper than I had to pay.
326.
Oh, it's 3 to
385. I couldn't fight it. My head's still mild.
He was.
The gym floor is gonna be.
And gym floor, where next week we'll be starting the refinishing of the gym floor, so that'll be a solid week of work. Doing some painting to match the walls and on the blue on the floor, so that's busy. We have to wait till the voting and Veterans Day program. We have 1 week before fall sports start, so next week is it for getting the gym floor finished. So it's never much of a break.
But doing the floor now is a lot easier than what it used to be, if I remember.
It is a much simpler process. It doesn't require the many, used to take 6 to 8 people to do the floor, and now Ronnie and I can both do it together in pretty much the same amount of time. That 6 people used to do it, so.
What a difference. And that's because of a different product.
Different process. We use diamond discs now instead of the old square pads and how we used to do it. So, and then finishing it was what used to be really labor intensive. Used to take 6 to 8 people with sponge applicators, and now he and I can do it. One person pours the varnish and one person uses a squeegee to spread it. Gives you a much better coat and a more even coat, and we can coat the whole gym floor in under 2 hours.
Still have the best looking gym in the state.
I say, it always looks beautiful. That does a great job.
I asked him today if he wanted to hire out, and he's still telling me no. You could make money off it.
Negotiated another weekend.
Hey,
He didn't go there. Thank you.
You're gonna do.
And then the next one is Jolene, and she was actually sick when the reports came in, but she is here with the report.
Yeah, there's a little.
No problem.
We have currently 111 students with IEPs, which is down 1. 23,504 plans, down 1. We have 9 referrals in process right now, which is up 2. And we had 19 meetings for the month of October and a total of 55 for the year so far. Yeah, very busy. We did get our letter from the state that officially says that the progress monitoring is closed and we don't have to do any further action until 2025-2026 school year. So we've got a few years to breathe before we start that year-long process again. We did finally contracted with Danielle McGillicuddy, which has been a work in progress. And she has going to be doing our speech evaluations and then also starting doing some time to service some of our most neediest students that are currently doing teletherapy to do in person. And as she increases time, then we'll be adding more students, and she's really excited. She can't wait. She walked in, saw all of the supplies and everything, and she was like, wow. And finally, Alyssa Laporte's class has been doing book clubs with her students. They are on book 3. And she has a Amazon wish list for some more books for the students, and they're really engaged, and I've enjoyed going in and seeing them. They'll be like, hey, and they'll be telling me what they're doing. So thank you very much. Any questions? All right.
Glad you feel better.
Thank you. I'm glad too.
I just invited her up, but you gotta.
Who?
Ms. Mary.
Oh, no, you can take over now.
Okay. I can do my job. Ms. Mary, come join us.
I was fortunate to go to the same conference as you guys, as a school board member for RSU 89, but I'm thankful that you guys let me hang out with you, and I thought the AI information was amazing, and hoping to bring it to the staff at Granite to start using for our curriculum and lesson planning going forward. I've signed Granite Street School up for box tops. This is a way for us to earn money. For every box top that gets scanned in under us, we get 10 cents. And we get 2 checks a week. So all you have to do is download the app and scan your receipt when you go to the grocery store. And it will operate into our system.
Oh, sure, it's more than AI stuff, right?
It's funny to bring it.
Easier than you.
Ms. McEwen and I have been working on the details for our upcoming concert. K2 will have a concert on December 18th here at Stern at 12:30. And then grades 3 through 5 will have it the 19th at 12:30. Today we received a check for $48 from Hannaford for money that came from people buying bouquets of flowers back in July. It was given that. A team of teachers have applied to the MDOE to form a concept team. This will provide professional development to the team and district, and we can be reimbursed up to $5,000 for the CD for subs and any after school hours that the team puts into it. We are meeting with the representative from the MDOE tomorrow. We met as a staff yesterday and started scheduling our parent-teacher conferences so that siblings would have their conferences back to back. Make it easier for families. I was lucky enough to help out in the cafeteria on Monday, where we had a little bit of short staff and able to hand out the trays to the kids, and they were like, "Miss Mary, what are you doing here?" So that was fun. I told her I'd do that anytime. We had a wonderful book fair. All the students were able to take at least one book home to read. Mrs. Reese was wonderful with setting that up. We had a great celebration at Granite Street for Halloween, including dance party and fun activities in the gym with Ms. Leach and Mrs. Reese. We had goodie bags delivered to the staff and students by the rec department. The 4th graders did a great job with their wax museum last week. And on November 17th, we have a guest speaker coming from the Bike Coalition of Maine to talk about bike safety with kindergarten through 5th graders. Any questions?
Really enjoyed the wax museum. That was pretty neat. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
You had to push that button. That's where it was. I was like, finding that button, but
Sometimes it was hard to find.
they did a
Sometimes
great
they
job.
go like this to me to point out.
Some of them had their little talk memorized and everything.
Yes, yes, they did a really great job.
I loved your report. I think it's the Gazette.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be, if we could maybe just highlight one grade, one class. And it would make it. I hate to politically correct. It would make it shorter, and maybe we could add pictures and stuff to it, so. That grade, whether it be pre-K, kindergarten, or the 5th grade, would really be highlighted for that time.
Yeah.
The feature.
Yeah, yeah. And that might get you. That's gonna be a lot of work.
Well, the teachers gave me the information, we just put it on the form,
Yeah,
so it's not that hard.
just a suggestion.
Yeah, and they got, some of the teachers that held their own newsletter each month as well. Yeah.
I look
But
forward,
definitely, even if we just had like a couple of things from each, and then one bigger one from one
Yeah.
class, one grade.
Yeah.
I look forward to it when you put that together last month and this month. And maybe you can just keep it the way it is, and just have one be a little bit bigger. You know, I mean, it's interesting to me. It's gotta be the parents that hear what's going on in the classrooms. I like it very much. You just- Well, however you do it, keep it up.
I think this is wonderful, excellent, and you do it the way you want to do it.
We talked so hard that 205. Can we nullify a little bit then?
By the times I got my phone to download it in the doctor's office, I was surprised I had any battery left. Yeah.
There's your problem, you need to do it.
A new phone. you need
Yeah,
to rent it.
actually, we'll send it home and print, how about that? That's the easy thing.
Then my glasses don't work right, so, yeah, you get over everything, yes.
All
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
right.
I was telling Beth earlier, I feel like it's been forever since I've been to a school board meeting, and I think it has been. With sports and games and coaching, it's been a while, so it's, nice to see all you guys again. I see once and you guys walking by the office, but it's good to be back. Grayson touched upon it a little bit. We had some absolutely wonderful fall athletic seasons. Junior high football team did an absolutely amazing job. Our field hockey team finished third in our league, which is the best finish they've ever had. They made it to the semifinals where they lost to a really good Dexter team. Field hockey had an amazing season as well. Grayson mentioned their record, and to be honest, I don't think their record showed how well they played. Dover went to the finals and they played a 1-goal game both times. They had an absolutely amazing season, and Heather and Amy, did an absolutely phenomenal job with those girls, as they always do. Football, again, like you guys said, it was a thriller. Kids played great. We couldn't have asked for any more effort and attitude and desire. It was great. They made a few more plays for us, and they're an absolutely phenomenal football team, Orono was, and they just got the better of us. But, I was super proud of our kids. I told them at the end of the game, I was proud to be their AD and proud to be their coach, and they just really, I thought did a great job representing Stearns High School down there. I also want to comment on, gosh, how many people were there. I think, to be honest with you, there was more people from Stearns there than Orono. Every time I look back, it felt like more people were showing up, and I didn't get a chance to really talk to the crowd. It's, for any of you guys have ever had the opportunity to coach, it's the last thing on your mind, but we really traveled well, and it was a great atmosphere, and like I said, the kids played a phenomenal football game, and we have a lot to be proud of. We do have a all-star meeting next Tuesday that Coach Herring and I will go to, and I fully anticipate some of our football players will get recognized on that. I do know that Kennedy, Emerson was named to the second team, and Grayson, Kennedy, Emerson, Kyler Welch, and Brady Gerser were also named to the all-academic team as well for the PBC for field hockey. So, that's phenomenal as well. I also had the opportunity to bring down 6 of our student athletes to Jeff's Catering a couple weeks ago, where the PBC put on a leadership summit where a lot of our kids got an opportunity to listen to a wonderful speaker about how to be a great leader on the field or on the court, but also in the classroom. Kids really seem to enjoy it. I've actually been to it a couple of times, and it's Rob Miller's the guy's name from Proactive Coaching. He has a big Facebook site, and he was phenomenal. So I hope the kids get out of that, and I picked 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and 2 juniors to take down. So I hope they got a lot out of it. Middle school basketball started already. Isn't that crazy? They had tryouts yesterday. High school starts on the 20th. Our new scoreboard also, I'm sorry, not our new scores table arrived for the gymnasium. If you guys think the gym looks great out, wait till the first game when that thing's set up. It is beautiful. Turned out better than I ever expected. We ordered it middle of last year with the help from Little Pro Basketball and the boosters, and it is really phenomenal. It really came out wonderful. So that will spice our gym up a little bit. I was talking to Dr. Lane today, and I was hoping that our grades would be out so I could give you guys a report. They won't be running until tomorrow morning at 8. But I know you guys, we talked a lot about Stearns time and some things that we're incorporating here, and I'm gonna tabulate the numbers tomorrow, and I'm gonna send it all you guys an email so you can get some updated stats, but I really anticipate a positive growth for our students. I think it's effective. There's still some things we need to change here and there to make it even better, but some of the looking that I've done and peeking around so far, I think we're gonna see a much better positive outcome with our high school kids and their grades this year compared to last. So we plan on just keeping going with that. Like Grayson mentioned, the plays coming up. We have parent teacher conferences coming up in November. And we're just moving along. It seems like yesterday the school year started, and it's already November. It's crazy how fast it goes by, but
one last thing before I forget, we also have an award ceremony banquet tomorrow night for the field hockey and the football team at 6 o'clock in the cafeteria. So any of you guys that can come, would love for you to join us. And we'll get an opportunity to have the coaches hearing and Coach Gersa talk a little bit about all the players and celebrate all the accomplishments that our student athletes had in the fall season. Any questions?
Just enjoy the 2 weeks with your family and then,
I was basketball. Well, that didn't work out so well for me. I was telling Dr. Lane today and Beth that I came home on Sunday and I was doing some laundry and I said to my wife, I said, Katie, what am I gonna do tomorrow? I have nothing going on. And she's like, well, I might have volunteered you to ref for Little Pro basketball. And I was so worried that I was repping Little Pro basketball, but that's okay. I get a little bored if I'm not busy. So I do look forward to basketball season though. We should have some really competitive teams and we're actually in Class D this year with the reclassification, so our schedule's a little different, so I expect that hopefully both teams can make it to the cross center this year and get back to that tradition of going down there for a tournament week, so should be fun.
thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Nick for all he does.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard nothing but good this year. You know, and that comes from the leadership. When you have leaders that are leading and showing the kids the right way and the right thing to do. Thank you.
Well, there's no place I'd rather be, so.
Miss Peavy, on down.
So I'd like to start by thanking Ms. Gibbon for putting together our Veterans Day program again this year. She and I spoke after last year's, which went very well, and I have no doubt that this year's will go just as well, if not better. And she said, if you'd like me to help out again next year, I'd be happy to do that. If you'd like me to arrange the whole event, I'd be happy to do that. So she just threw it out there and offered her time and her energy and her effort, and she's doing it all again this year. So thank you
You're welcome.
very much. So last week, went to look at some of the through year data, and we received an email from the DOE that the site was down. I have not checked it. I haven't had a chance to check it today, but apparently there was an issue within the NWEA site itself, some kind of software issue, so I have no data for you. However, on a positive note, our participation in the through year, or what you knew as the NWEA testing, is up. I'm not sure of the percentage, but it is up a great deal over last year. So that will also help our data be more consistent and give us a better insight into where students are. We did a big push here in educating our students about the through-year testing, in that, yes, it's considered a high stakes test, but it's for their benefit. It helps to inform teachers of how to instruct and what areas need reinforcement or what areas are going very well. And that we wanted them to take it seriously and we wanted them to just try their best. So last year, I think we had 67 students that had opted out of testing. This year, we had 2. So we feel that that educational push, as well as asking that any parent who wanted to opt out their students come in and meet with us, the administrators, to talk about it and discuss what the test was actually for. We feel that that made a big difference. So we're hoping to see a lot of data soon. And then of course, we hope to see even better data this spring. I wanted to talk and give a shout out to our esports team. So our esports team right now is coached by Mr. Leathers, and the assistant coach is Mr. Brown. The Mario Kart portion of the team is ranked number 2 in their league. And right now they have a league of 73 teams nationwide.
The only reason that we believe it will go with, the only reason that they are ranked 2 is because the team in the number 1 spot has played 1 additional match more than they have.
That's gotta be.
That's it. Because
We'll go with that.
that team that is in first place were able to earn more points with that extra match. So we're a little bit behind on matches, but we're right up there, close to the top. So I wanted to give a shout out to them because, well, they no longer hold practices or matches on school board meeting nights. Because if you're upstairs in the building and they're playing a match right here across the hall in Mr. Brown's room, you can hear them. They are excited, they're happy, they're having fun, and I've been in a number of times just to cheer them on and watch them complete a match, and it's a great time. So I wanted to name off the students so that they would be recognized, because esports, it's new to our district. So we have Braden Campbell, we have Jack DeFrederico, Jacob Blanchette, Robert Sear, Leonard Sick, Colin Hall, and Dayton Bell. So we're hoping that when they end the season, they will end it in the number 1 spot. Should that happen, I believe how it was explained to me by Mr. Leathers is that they would be invited to do a national kind of championship. So we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed for them. They're doing great. We've started the nurse's office. Katie Carr has started with vision hearing and the height weight screenings for students. And then referrals are made to parents for any students who don't pass this. The National Junior Honor Society hosted a pumpkin decorating contest. It was great. They had that for staff and students. And the winners of the contest were first place, McKenna Johnson. Second place was Christy Hayes, one of our staff members who couldn't resist entering. And third place goes to Lily Archibald. Student council left mini ghosts all over the building with students' names on them for them to find. Once they found their ghost on Halloween, they were able to come down to the office and get a treat. So they had fun with that. The National Honor Society, their advisor is Anna Loom. And they have been planning the Veterans Day breakfast, which they will cook on Thursday with some help from student council. They have been rewriting their bylaws. So students went through a draft and have just sent the draft on to the faculty council for approval. Students have been planning a few fundraisers for the winter and spring. NHS is hoping to have enough funds to help them host better events in the future and to give a small senior scholarship this year and every year after this year. That's one of their main goals. They'd like to have a scholarship for a senior. And the National Honor Society is also planning to be involved in the Special Olympics in the spring. And they will be putting out invitations for potential new members to apply next week. So that's some really great news coming out of the National Honor Society. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Lee, you're up.
I don't have anything left to say. You guys, cool. Seriously? I guess I know where my place is. All right, I won't say much. A flu clinic we have had at school, and we had 68 students and 31 staff members get vaccinated. Katie Carr said that that's down a little bit from past years. The next district announcement is going out tomorrow. We're trying to get those out the day after a typical board meeting.
I participated in a trunk or treat here in your community in Millinocket. It was a blast. I got to meet a lot of families dressed up in all kinds of costumes. That was a lot of fun. I'd like to say thank you to our wellness ambassador, Sandy Booker, who attended a meeting in Augusta and was able to represent the Millinocket school system to get a $500 grant check for us. It's already in the mail coming to us, where that will be able to put together incentives for our wellness group. So we'll have some events for our staff, probably something to do around Christmas time, and we have some water bottles and things like that. So thank you to our new wellness ambassador. I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. Moscone. She got a grant for a Gaga ball pit, which she'll be using here at the middle school and high school. She just was able to secure that. And as part of that, she went out to Stearns Lumber.
Yep.
And so Stearns Lumber, in order to help her with the grant, was actually has given her all of the lumber and hardware that goes with that. And so that actually ended up being more than the hardware that went with the Gaga pit. So thank you to Stearns Lumber for helping her with that. I also wanted to put out that it's time to start thinking about snow days. So in our regular meeting yesterday with the admin team and today with the district team, we talked about snow days. So just a reminder that snow days were our first 2 days will be the regular old snow days. Get your turkey, put it in the freezer, get your cooking goods to make cookies. You get to stay home and just have a regular snow day. But then the next 3, if we have them, will be virtual days. Our schools, Granite and Stearns, middle school and high school, will have virtual days or packet days for the littles. More information will come home on what those will look like. We will have 1-hour delays if that is what our town crew believes or our school crew believes needs to happen, or 2-hour delays if that's what the weather necessitates. If we have a 1-hour delay, we will have breakfast. If we have a 2-hour delay, we will not have breakfast because that will interfere with lunch. So that's kind of like a recap on what potential weather days will look like coming up. There'll be no extracurricular activities if we have a snow day. So ball games would be canceled, but if we have delays and there's a ball game, then we would carry through with those. So those are just reminders because it's been a whole year and sometimes we forget about those things. Today we had a student presentation. Was that today? Today we had a student presentation from our girl that's visiting us from Guatemala. Her name is Deborah and she's here with a host family. And she was talking about her home culture, showed us some pictures. Part of her requirement for being here is to share her home life experience. She talked about what her school day is like, what her food culture is like, what her college culture is like. So with her current American classroom, she shared what life was like for her. It was quite interesting. I was gonna say thank you to Miss Mary for helping out in the kitchen. Ask others if you wanted to help out as well. Hint, hint, hint. Yes. And I wanted to also say, for those of you who were voting, I wanted to say thank you for both Tom and to Donnie, no matter who gets in and for the positions that are open on the school board. I don't know who it's going to be, but I have 100% enjoyed working with both of you. I've learned from both of you. I'd be happy to have both of you return, whatever the voters choose. Whether or not it's you or it's not you, I hope you are not strangers because I learned from both of you. And thank you for your service to the school, to the town. And that's it. It's been a great experience for me working here. So like that.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions with Dr. Lane? Our upcoming meetings are December 5th and January 2nd. The December 5th meeting is where we elect the new board chair. So Dr. Lane opens and runs that meeting until that election takes place. Correct? Correct. Correct. All right. Well, oh, Tom,
As Dr. Lane said, this is. Could be my last board meeting. I'll be sure how the elections tomorrow. Win or lose, you can't lose. If anyone, the three of us, the three that are running, no matter who gets it, gotta be well covered. But I just wanna thank the board, and I wanna thank the administration and the staff for their welcoming. I was on the board for years, got off, came back, kinda hesitantly, to see what was gonna, I can tell. And, you've all made it a joy. I think this school system is in excellent hands right now. I think there's no way to go. We're really, really turned the corner and are looking good. And it's just been a privilege, and thank you.
thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Someone,
Any discussion on an adjournment? All in favor? 5-0. Meeting is adjourned.